Or did you need the technology of 3D in order to really enhance the dancing and enhance the story of the film?
We would have not made the film if it hadn't been for the arrival of 3D. I would have been stalling and asking for time like 20 years before with PIna. We wanted to make this film so urgently, and I would have dropped everything to make this film, but I just didn't know how. And then 3D was the answer to these questions. 3D was really, I felt, invented for dance. When I first saw it, I thought, wow, that's the perfect marriage. They're made for each other.
What did it allow you to do as far as telling the story and really showing viscerally what the dancing is? You know, what did the 3D allow you to do?
3D put me into the very element of the dancers and smack dab in the middle of PIna's world. I could be there with them. I mean, movies you could be on stage before, but you could not share space. You'd be always on a two-dimensional screen. Space is always a fiction. Whatever you do, it ends flat. And dancing, and especially PIna's world, is so much depending on exploring space. With every gesture, every movement, dancers take possession of space, and it's such a physical thing. And the physicality of a body in front of the camera in 3D is a very, very different thing. If you use it differently than just for effect-driven shots, if you use it sort of to show the world as it is, as you see it with your own two eyes, it can be such a different language. And these dances in front of the 3D cameras, it's really as if you had the very privileged possibility to stand in front of them.
Yeah, and see it live. Could you talk about the narrative of the film that you were able to create from the dance sequences?
The film is built, has a backbone of 4 pieces by PIna, of which we used excerpts. And then it's built around all the responses and the answers that the dancers gave me around PIna, because I couldn't ask PIna anymore. I couldn't watch PIna anymore. She died before we were able to start shooting. So, but I had these dancers, and some of them had worked with PIna for 30 years and had PIna's eyes on them for 30 years. And they answered all my questions about PIna with dance. And this is the bulk of the movie, their responses. And we were able to take these dances out of the stage and put them into the world where they started to begin with, because PIna's inspiration was the world around her. And she observed people, and her art is not an aesthetic experience. It comes from life and what our bodies can tell us about love and hate and loss and fear and all of this. PIna's art is about life and from life. It's not an aesthetic thing. So I felt I could put her art back into the city where she invented it, that little city of Wuppertal in Germany. And we shot in the middle of traffic and in industrial areas and in the nature and in the swimming pool and God knows what, where it had started in the first place.
Oh, that's great. One thing I really liked that you did in the film was, and the interviews you were talking about when you were interviewing the different dancers, in the film, they don't speak. We just hear their answers. They're stone-faced to the camera, and we hear their answers, in a voiceover. Could you talk about that choice? Because it was very powerful.
The film I wanted to do with PIna together, we had 2 rules. No biography. PIna didn't want it to be about her, but about her life. Not about her life, but about her work. And second, no interview. She thought dance should speak for itself. And she thought it didn't need explanation or interpretation. It was evocative, and her dance really speaks. When I first saw a piece of PIna, my mind didn't understand it, but my body really understood it well. So I planned a film without any interviews. And then slowly I understood that, especially for people who didn't know dance world and didn't know anything about PIna, it would be nice to know a little bit. And I added some sort of thoughts by the dancers or memories they had of PIna, but not as interviews, but more like you could listen to their thoughts as you saw them, like an interior monologue, an interior voice. And that gives a very soft subtext to the film. So you do learn a little bit about PIna, but it's not that people tell you. You sort of, you're allowed to listen to their thoughts.
You listen to their thoughts and watch the work.
Exactly. And it really speaks for itself. Dance is, it's tremendous as a filmmaker that you realize how much you can do without words. Wow. That was a great discovery for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Wonderful. Thank you. Great.